guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tavion Henry, and today I'm going to be talking about my 3-year review on the Mavic Pro 2, or is it the Mavic 2 Pro? Mavic Pro 2, the DJI Mavic 2 Pro. There you go. We're going to talk about my 3-year review on that, and is it still relevant in 2022? So this video is going to be tailored to those people who may be looking to go out and buy their first drone. Looking to elevate their level of production by adding a drone to the arsenal. And I'm just going to kind of talk about, why this is still a great option in 2022. Because we all know that, the new kid in town, the Mavic 3 Cine has hit the market. And a lot of people are, drawn to the newest thing that's out there. But the price point that it's coming at may not be a price point that a lot of people can afford. So the Mavic 3 Cine comes at 3 different price levels. The bottom line right now is $2,100, and that comes with just the battery and the controller. And then a step above that, we have, I think there's 3 batteries and a charging tower. That's coming in at $3,000. And then the top of the line with all the gears and gadgets, ND filters, smart batteries, smart controllers, everything. That's coming in at $5,000. So, the price point on the Mavic 3 Cine is triple, if not quadruple, what the Mavic Pro 2 is coming in right now. 2022 in January, it's coming at $1,200 on Amazon. And this is, a really affordable drone for, everything that it packs. And I just kind of want to highlight, why this is still a great option in 2022. So if this sounds like something that may be, tailored to your situation, stick around because we're going to have a lot of great things to talk about. All right, so just a little bit of background information on my experience with the Mavic 2 Pro. I actually owned this since 2019. It was my first piece of camera gear. And when I say first piece of camera gear, I mean my first piece of camera gear. I didn't have a camera, I didn't have a tripod, I didn't have a mic, I didn't have anything. So I had this grand scheme idea that I can build an entire video production company surrounded around the drone itself. But I was quickly humbled when I found out that there's a lot of limitations to not having a mic, not being able to record things indoors. And I just didn't really know what I was doing, but I just pulled the trigger on it because I saw so many cool shots that you can get with the drone, and I decided to just go all in. But it adds a lot of versatility when you have a camera as well. So I had to kind of learn the hard way that I went in reverse, but I got it down now, so that's where we're at. And that's just kind of how, me and this drone met. And I just think that there's a lot of quality that comes with this drone, and that's just kind of what I'm going to talk about. So talking about, the pros, the cons, and some of my favorite things about it. And that's just what, the rest of the video is going to look like. But to start off with the pros, I'm going to talk about the build of the drone itself. So in its weight class, this drone is far ahead of everything else that you can get. You got the Phantom Pro 4 and some drones by Evo and some other drones that just aren't really comparable to, what you can get with the Mavic 2 Pro. So with the build itself, it's very ergonomic and travel friendly. As you guys can see, I can fit this in the palm of my hands, almost like the size of like an iPad mini or one of those old cell phones from the 2000s. But it's very small and compactable. So it has those foldable arms that can kind of fold out, fold in, which makes it very travel friendly when I put it inside my camera bag. I don't have to have a separate case for it. I can just put it in my camera bag itself. And it's just really reliable and durable. So I've actually crashed my drone I've actually crashed my drone a few times. I've actually crashed my drone a few times when I just started, doing my drone pilot type thing. And I haven't had to repair any detrimental parts of the drone. I've had to repair a few propellers, replace them. And I got a few scratches on it, nothing too crazy, but I haven't had anything like arm break off or the camera not work, anything like that. So the fact that it's so travel friendly but also so durable at the same time, it just gives it, so many perks in its weight class versus everything else that you can get. And also wanted to talk about the setup time. So the setup time on this thing, I can literally take it out of my camera bag, unfold the arm, set it up, put my phone in there, hook the app up, and fly in the air in under 2 minutes, maybe under a minute itself if I bust my butt a little fast enough. But that's something that is just really great with this drone, is that you're able to set it up and fly it so quickly without the hassle of putting arms on it, because I know there's some drones you have to actually attach the arms to the body and things like that. everything is included with it. You can leave the propellers on. You don't have to take those off because of the way that it folds down. And that just makes it, so valuable to me. And I love it a lot. So to get into some of the pros and cons of, the drone itself, outside of the build quality that I spent so much time talking to you guys about, the actual footage that you get with the drone is amazing. Obviously, it shoots a 4K. Well, it doesn't shoot in 4K at this point, but it has 10-bit, capabilities. So shooting in D-Log or S-Log, you're able to color grade and have so much more control in post when you're doing your color grading. So the fact that this drone has that type of capabilities is a big perk, especially for people who are buying their first drone but don't really know too much about color grading and things like that. This drone has that, so when you do, excel to that level, you know that you have that with this drone here. And I also want to talk about just the straight out of the camera coloring. So for those people who don't really know how to color grade or don't really like to color grade too much, the quality that it has straight out of the camera is amazing as well. Like I said, I didn't color grade till maybe about 7 months ago, to be honest. And just what I could do without having to do any color grading was just amazing. It has, great quality straight out of the camera, and I just think that that's a perk that's worth talking about. And also just all the features that the drone has itself. There's, active track, there's Quickshots, there's waypoints, there's all kind of stuff like that. But I'm gonna save my favorite ones for the end of the video, because I have some sweet footage that I want to talk about with that. But going into some of the cons, there's 2 cons that I want to talk about, and they really need to work on it, man. I think they made these upgrades and changes in the Mavic 3 Cine, but like I said, I'm talking to people who don't want to spend $5,000 on a drone, because that's just not really what they need right now. So talk about some of the cons. There's only 2 cons, but they're cons at the end of the day. And that's going to be the battery life and the low light capabilities. So to start off with the battery life, you definitely have to have 2, if not 3 batteries if you're going to be using this very often, because I get probably about 20 to 25 minutes in flight time without hearing that annoying low battery, blaring beam that just goes off repeatedly. For those people who have, the drone, they know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's annoying. But the battery life, it just isn't the best, man. I mean, it's decent. It gets the job done, but I feel like as soon as I get into the flow of the shot that I'm doing, I finally have, my purpose for what I'm going to do with the drone in this, whatever video I may be doing, I'm running out of battery life, and I have to kind of accelerate what I'm doing and kind of finish it out. So that's one thing that really irritates me. And if you get this drone, I definitely recommend getting 2 to 3 batteries at minimum. And then the low light capabilities is another pitfall with this. I don't shoot in low light a ton with the drone, but when I have tried, it just didn't do too well for me. I had to crank the ISO all the way up, and it just created a lot of noise in the footage. And that's just one thing that they improved on in the Mavic 3 Cine, and I wish there's a way to improve that with the software with the Mavic Pro 2. But obviously, this is ingrained in the drone itself, and they can't really upgrade that by just a software update. So that's something that you guys should keep in mind if you're thinking about getting the Mavic Pro 2. But outside of that, man, it's still an amazing drone. It still has a lot of great things that it can do, but just the low light capabilities and that flight time just isn't the best. But hey, I mean, it's $1,200, so you're gonna get what you get. All right, so now we're here, my favorite part of the video, and that's gonna be talking about the features that DJI has incorporated inside of this drone. So there are a lot of different features and modes that you can do, but I'm gonna talk about just my favorites. And the first one is gonna be active track. So with active track, you're able to lock onto an object and follow it wherever it goes. And with this, it's really great because I'm still able to, fly the drone higher or, lower it down, depending on where I'm at, and still track it without physically having to, follow myself in the scene. And I can also, do a rotation. There's a little feature that you can kind of swipe over and rotate at a certain percentage as you're tracking this object. And I just think that that's really cool and a great feature to add to the active track. And there's also different versions of active track. So with that, there's also spotlight mode. And with that, you're able to put the drone almost in a tripod position and follow an object wherever it may go. So instead of physically, moving with the object, it'll just stay in a tripod, type of mode, and just, follow it as like a spotlight. And I just think that that's really cool too, because depending on the situation that you're in, that looks a lot cooler than maybe the active track trace mode. You can also track, cars. So here you see right now, I'm actually driving my car, and the drones just follow me without me having to do anything as well. So I actually tried it out to see how fast it can go, and maybe I'll save that for another video. But just the fact that you're able to track your car without having to physically fly it, or you don't have to have someone else driving and you follow it, you can just do it itself, is a really cool feature. So those are two modes I really want to highlight. But make sure if you're doing the active track, there's no trees around, because sometimes optical avoidance just isn't the best in that mode. I've actually crashed my drone that way, and that's just a heads up for you guys if you decide to do that. So, all right, so getting into the quick shots, these are going to be the last features that I want to talk about. Even though there's a lot more features to highlight, but I'm probably going to save that for another video if you guys are interested. But the quick shots are things that I try to incorporate every time that I use the drone, just because they're effective and they're just kind of pre-made. So when I talk about the active track, this is something that follows object wherever it goes. It doesn't have a certain pattern. But with quick shots, this is a form of active track, but it has specific ways that it goes. So to talk about the droney, I didn't actually create a video for this part because I actually forgot. But a droney is a shot that kind of flies back at a 45-degree angle up, almost like you're letting a kite into the sky, and it creates a really dynamic type of shot. But honestly, I forgot to do it, so I apologize for that. But getting into the next one, we got the rocket shot. So the rocket shot is exactly how it sounds. It locks onto a target and flies directly up into the air, keeping the subject in focus, and that just makes a really dynamic, cool looking shot. And I just really love to use this one. And then the boomerang is a nice shot as well. It does exactly how it sounds. It flies in a boomerang type of pattern, and comes back to you, and that's really dynamic, especially if you have a nice scene to kind of edit in. There's a lot of edits that you can do with it that just really makes it nice. And then we had the helix shot. So the helix kind of flies in a spiral pattern, similar to the boomerang, but instead of coming back, it just keeps going up. And that really makes a great reveal to the background behind you. So I have, the Fort Worth city line behind me, and it can really make a dynamic shot inside of whatever project you're doing. And then the asteroid shot. So this is a shot that I don't really use too often, but it's a really cool feature, and I think that maybe I'll try to incorporate it, soon, because I think it's really dynamic. But the asteroid kind of flies in the same pattern as the droney shot, but at the top of the top of the shot, it takes a whole bunch of pictures in a 360 angle and creates this globe-looking image, and this actually creates the image straight out of the camera. You don't have to do this in post or anything like that. So I think that that's really cool that they incorporated that with this feature, and something that I'm going to use definitely in the future. But that's all that I had for you guys today. I hope that I built my case on why the Mavic 2 Pro is still, worth it in 2022. For $1,200, you get a lot of value in this, and for you first-time drone buyers, I think that this is still a very good option. So I hope I built my case around that. I hope you guys liked the video. And if you want to see more details, have some more questions about some of the features inside the drone, just let me know in the comments down below. I'll make a whole video tailored to that. Just kind of help you guys out some more. But thank you guys for being here to the end of the video. Make sure you hit a like, subscribe if you like it, because I'm gonna have some more content like this coming out. And have a good day, man. I'm out.